Hello, good morning. Kay Secretary Rex po muna siguro. Sir, yung sa AIX, paano po i-implement ng DSWD yung anti-EPAL provision na nasa GAA para to make sure din na walang political intervention in administering itong mga social service programs?
Well, two things, Tristan. Number one, kung matatandaan nyo, early part of last year, pumunta ako dito dahil doon sa AKAP. And yan rin yung tanong sa amin. Wala nang AKAP this year. Pero remember, we were tasked to create a joint memo circular among DSWD, DOLE, at saka DepDep. And may explicit provision doon na pagka the act of payouts, dapat wala talagang mga politiko. So what we intend to do, first things first, is to get that provision and explicitly move it to the memo circular for AIX. Although, time immemorial, bago pa naman ako dumating sa departamento, may mga memo circular na ng DSWD that kept on repeating na di bawal talaga during the act of any payout, no? Whether it's AIX, wag lang AIX kasi may iba kaming mga payouts. May sustainable livelihood kami, meron kaming emergency cash transfers. Hindi pwede talaga dapat doon ng mga politiko. So, ang gagawin namin, first things first, ilipat yon again kasi yung sa JMC na yon, yung Joint Memo Circular ng AKAP na yon, very clear, very explicit. 3 departamento ang nag-isip nun. So, ika-cut and paste na namin yon, ililipat na namin sa AIX. Pangalawa, alam niyo, ang line of defense talaga namin will be our social workers. These are professionals. I don't want to speak for the other departments na may ganitong provision, but kami, may extra line of defense kami, mga social worker namin. And these professionals will not allow themselves to be used for political gains of anybody. Tulad ng lagi ko sinasabi sa inyo, maraming magpapanggap na, kaya ko yung DSWD, ako magre-refer sa inyo, pero ultimo, social worker pa rin ang magdedetermine kung one, dapat ba bigyan o hindi bigyan? Pangalawa, kung magkano bibigyan. And ang social workers natin, hindi yan papayag paggamit kahit na kanino. Even nga in the department, nobody can overrule their recommendations.
Just a follow-up, sir. Dahil po yung sa nangyari din sa AKAP, no, which was also flagged by COA nung nakaraan, yung citing political, meron pa rin pong political promotion, kahit sabihin pong bawal talaga sila in the event itself, meron pa rin pong nag-a-announce on their social media accounts na may distribution, and so on and so on. So, dito po ba ngayon with our new budget, mas mahigpit na yung screening and implementation?
Tristan, unfortunately, I cannot control people what they post in their social media accounts. I can only answer what we control, which is kami. And paulit-ulit naming sasabihin na nobody, not even ako, can commit the funds of the department because needs-based yan. Hindi pwedeng sasabihin ko, magkakaroon ng ganito, lahat ng ganito. No, nobody can say that. Kaya paalaala namin lagi, walang pwedeng mag-commit or mag-obliga ng pondo ng DSWD kung hindi ang aming mga social workers. Remember, the step 1 lagi ng mga proseso namin, hindi lang sa AIX, emergency cash transfer, SLP, or anytime na may financial or non-financial na distribution kami, will be the the social worker. Gumagawa yan ng social case intake. Yung intake na yan, parang doon niya isusulat lahat. Kailangan ba ng tao? Ano yung predicament? Bakit niya kailangan ng tulong? So, anybody can commit, pero hindi ibig sabihin mangyayari yon. Kaya nga kami, ang anunsyo namin sa publiko, isa lang dapat ang source of information. May campaign nga kami, tamang tulong sa tamang informasyon. Yan yung official Facebook account ng DSWD. Kung may tanong kayo, doon nyo i-check yung sagot. Kung meron tayong grievance, let's say may reklamo tayo, doon rin natin i-post.
Sunod na tanong mula kay Katrina Domingo, ABS-CBN.
For Secretary Gatchalian first, sir, reality on the ground is kahit po anong pagbabawal ng DSWD or ng national government, meron pa rin pong mga politiko, whether they may be on the local level or the national level or even barangay level, na pumupunta sa mga payout sites. Ano po yung penalties that will be imposed against those who will violate that anti-EPAL rule?
Ako pabaliktad. Hindi ko papapuntahin yung mga paymaster namin at yung mga social worker namin habang nandun yung mga politiko. I think that's a proactive measure. Hindi kami a-appear doon, hindi kami pupunta doon. Kasi tulad ng sinabi ko, these are professionals. They will not allow themselves to be used by anybody.
Sir, so ano na lang po yung deterrent or deterrence?
Hindi kami pupunta doon.
Sir, pero minsan ongoing bigla silang pupunta.
Well, again, we have the option to stop. 'Di ba? Pag biglang nag-gate crash, we can stop. Pero wag na natin paabutin sa ganun kasi malalagay naman sa alanganin yung gumawa nun. There are provisions already stated in our memo circulars to that effect. Pero kami will make sure na hindi kami pupunta pag may politiko.
You think it's time to legislate something that
I
will...
think I will leave that to our legislators. May mga panukalang ganyan. I'll leave it to their best judgment and their wisdom.
Sunod na tanong mula kay Leth Narciso, DZRH.
Secretary, paano po dun sa mga instances? Kasi yung mga tao, sanay na sa politiko lumalapit, sila yung malapit. Paano po kung lumapit doon, tapos sabi na, ay, wala na kaming pondo na sa ganyang ahensya, kung irekomenda sa DSWD yung humingi ng tulong?
First of all, 3 kami nandito. Parang ako na lang ang tinatanong. So yun. Gusto ko lang malaman niyo yun. Makakatabi ho ako. Like ito ulit-ulit sabihin, test us, subukan nyo kami. Kahit na walang referral, right here, right now, pumunta kayo sa kahit na anong DSWD office, kahit wala kang referral, tutulungan ka ng mga social worker namin. Hindi kailangan ng referral. Pero true, we do get referrals, not just from public servants, we get it from public service shows, we get it from homeowners association, we get it from churches, we get it from good Samaritans. Meron talaga yung gusto lang tumulong, tapos tinuro kami. Pwede nyo kami ituro, pero pag tinuro nyo kami, hindi ibig sabihin na kinumit mo kami na may matatanggap. Kasi conforme pa rin yun doon sa case intake ng aming social worker. Kasi pag sa opinion ng social worker namin, wala namang rason para bigyan ng tulong at hindi ka pumapasa sa guidelines, then hindi ka pa rin makakatanggap ng tulong. And lalong-lalo na, pinakaano namin doon yung magko-commit ng amount. Kasi walang pwedeng mag-commit ng amount kung hindi yung social worker because may pagsusuri yan.
Ivan Mayrina, GMA7.
Undersecretary Yap, sir, tinuro kayo ng Secretary Gatchalian. Nagsimula po ang administrasyon with a very ambitious goal of putting up 1 million housing units per year. With the goal na at the end of the president's term, wala na daw po tayong pagkakulangan sa mga pabahay. Where are we dito po sa goal na to? I understand we have since revised that goal. Kumusta na po? Ano na ho ang goal at nasa na tayo?
Yes, we have actually recalibrated yung modalities na yun. Kung matatandaan nyo, nag-concentrate po kami doon sa vertical housing. Yun yung target natin dahil karamihan po ng may mga kakulangan sa pabahay dito sa urban areas. But we realized that outside of Metro Manila and the highly urbanized centers, ang gusto pa rin ng mga karamihan is horizontal. House and lot or lot only. At kaya nung dumating po si Kalihim Liling nung middle of last year, ito po yung ginawa namin, in-adjust po namin. So ang target po namin, ang recalibrated target namin is 1.133 million for the whole term, of which we are now at about 400,000 plus already, no? So we would be able to, we strongly believe that we will be able to achieve that target. Now, second, nag-issue na po ang aming kalihim ng mga iba-ibang mga orders. Karamihan po dito, ni-revive natin yung mga programs na na-stop before, na ginagamit naman or in-implement ng previous administration, tulad ng CMP. CMP is one of our most successful program kung saan ang ginagawa po natin yung mga nakatira sa ISF, binibili po natin yung lupa nila from the landowners so that eventually we can award this to our beneficiaries. Na-approve na po 36 units, 36 projects with over 6,000 potential beneficiaries. Just last Friday, meron pong awarding doon sa Valenzuela, one of those examples, no. Nag-move na rin tayo just beyond constructing. Meron na rin tayo pong sinimulan na rental housing. Ang una naming pinilot project ay dito sa UP at nag-uusap na rin kami with other state universities and colleges and other units. Importante po kasi hindi lahat naman kayang bumili ng bahay. So tinitingnan po namin ang rental housing para temporarily, pag wala pa silang kakayanan para bumili, meron ding provision of housing para sa kanila. So this is where we are right now.
Sorry, one more. Kay Yusek Olalia. Sir, non-budget related, pero kumustahin ko lang, what can you tell us about the situation of Filipinos in Iran?
Although wala po tayong official deployment sa bansa ng Iran, andyan po yung whole of government approach. Kasama po natin ng Philippine Embassy, no, na tumutulong kung meron man nangangailangan, lalong-lalo na yung mga married to Iranian nationals. No? So maliwanag po ang direksyon at ang habilin ng ating secretary kung may nangangailangan ng mga Filipino nationals, ang DMW kasama ng iba pang mga departamento ay handa pong tumulong sa lahat po ng
But how are we getting in touch with our officials there? I understand may blackout po, wala yatang internet, walang means to communicate. How are we doing that?
Yeah, tama po kayo. May kasalukuyang protesta na nangyayari po doon, no? But before this protest happened, before the blackout happened, meron na po tayong mga GC, meron na po tayong mga contact sa kanila at importante po doon nakaka-contact po sila sa atin at nasasabi po nila kung ano yung mga pangangailangan nila.
Salamat.
Sunod na tanong mula kay Alvin Baltasar, Radyo Pilipinas.
Sorry, Secretary, babalik lang ako sa inyo. Kanina parang hindi nasagot yung yung penalty o yung parusa sa politikong makikita doon sa payout. Base doon sa provision sa GA 2026 sa pagkakalam nyo, ano yung parusa sa kanila?
Fortunately, I have yet to see the special provision. I've only read it sa mga dyaryo. But we will make sure to comply with whatever the special provision of the GAA states. Hindi ko palang nahahawakan pa yung mismong listahan ng mga special provision.
Sa palagay nyo ba, Secretary, makakatulong kung magkakaroon tayo ng halimbawa parang signages na...
Lahat naman yan, laging meron. In fact, remember, I think dito ko rin nasabi yon, ang mga payout centers namin, una, may signage na wag makipag-transact kahit kanino, bukod tangi na lang sa DSWD personnel. Inaanunsyo rin namin magkano yung matatanggap nila to avoid yung mga paglabas sa payout center, babalikan, tas kakaltasan. We are doing every single public information campaign that we can para lang malinaw at walang mabiktima.
I do not know, Secretary, kung masyadong harsh ito, pero direktahin na natin yung signages sa halimbawa, bawal ang politiko dito sa...
Nilalagay naman talaga namin doon.
Okay. Thank you po, Secretary.
Sunod na tanong mula kay Chloe Hufana, Business World. Mike, please.
Good morning po. To Mr. Yap po, sir. Regarding 4PH program, sir, ilan po yung naitayo nating houses for 2025? Will you retain po yung target houses natin of 90,000 for 2026? And ilan na naitayo from the 250,000 houses na commitment ng private developers last year? Thank you.
Yeah, yung let me start from the end, no. Yung kinomit nung private sector na housing, these are supposed to be constructed this year. Ang reason for this, ang hinihintay po nila yung price adjustment that was jointly issued by DSUD and DepDev. So we foresee that most of that will be implemented this year. Yung mga karamihan ng mga 4PH naman in the previous year, last year and the previous year, we're looking at about 2,000 to 3,000 units that were taken out. Iba po yung na-complete, iba yung taken out, no. There's two steps because after the units is completed, kailangan pa nilang ayusin yung mga documentation and then mag-a-apply yung mga beneficiaries. So ima-match pa po yun. So there is this lag time between the construction and the delivery. But what we like to mention now, base sa aming bagong programa, yung expanded 4PH, instead na maging production-centric kami, naging beneficiary-centric. So binibigyan na namin ngayon yung mga beneficiaries to select yung mode or modality nung gusto nila. Dati kasi, ang pwede lang nilang mapili at ma-entitled sa subsidy is vertical housing, yung condominium. So ngayon, pag meron silang makitang horizontal house and lot only, pwede na rin po yan, bibigyan na rin po sila, mako-qualify sila. So that is one way of expanding din yung ating reach for socialized housing.
Sunod na tanong mula kay Christian Yesores, DCMM.
Secretary Rex, bukod po doon sa anti-Apple provision sa distribution ng mga social services natin, prohibiting politicians, last year, di ba may mga reported din po tayo na even yung mga local officials sa barangay, sila naman yung nai-involve doon sa binabawasan yung natatanggap na mga beneficiaries. How do we resolve that going into 2026 na mas malaki po yung budget natin?
Well, the only way we can do that is one, inform the general public na kung ano ang para sa kanila yon. No matter sino kumuha, wag nila ibibigay. Pangalawa, to make an example out of these cases. Kung matatandaan nyo, late last year, nung December, ako pa mismo ang pumunta ng ombudsman to file the administrative charges against those barangay officials, isolated cases naman, pero a handful of barangay officials in Iloilo City, working with the local government unit there, working with Mayor Treñas, we made sure na makasuhan yung dapat makasuhan. So we will not hesitate to keep on filing cases kasi yan talagang we take a hard stance na ang para doon sa beneficiary, para sa beneficiary yun. Walang may karapatan na kumaltas kahit na isang kusing.
Are you planning, sir, to coordinate with the ILG para mag-create?
Yes, we
ng-
did. In that case, we did. Lalo na, and then we also work with the local government unit. But at the same time, nothing beats yung may masampulan, di ba? Kaya nga yun, we made sure na we publicized it and then the friends from media also published the names para talaga makita ng tao na hindi talaga tinotolerate yung ganitong klaseng mga actions.
But will you create a policy, sir, with the ILG para mas mabigat yung parusa sa mga local
I
officials?
think kasi
din?
naman, statute, yung mga batas na natin, enough na. It's just a matter of filing those cases.
Sunod na tanong mula kay Kat Domingo, ABS-CBN.
For Undersecretary Yap, sir, the current target of 1.1 million housing units is very far from the original 6.5 million target. That's just about 17%. And even with the revised target, yung current number po na 400,000 housing units is less than half of the revised target with only about 2 years left in the Marcos Jr. administration. Bakit po ang bagal?
Okay, first I'd like to address the 6.5. The 6.5 actually target was a target that covers both housing need and housing backlog. Ang paggawa kasi ng target is based on the amounts that were not done by the previous administration and then yung natural growth over time ng population and then yung pag-create new families. But meron pong second component yun. Yung second component yun, yung mga bahay na maayos na posibleng masira over the period. Now, yung 6.5 na yun, in the original number of 6.5, actually 1/3 of that is houses that are okay but could, over time, be affected by typhoon or dilapidate. So, in reality, yung 1/3 na yan may or may not happen. So pag itinarget natin yung 6.5, actually nag-over target tayo to do more than what is actually required. So yun yung first clarification namin. So in reality, the number that is needed is only about 2/3 or about 3 point something million. And that's actually where we're working. Now, we've actually checked also kung ano yung mga nagawa ng previous administration natin. And our records show that during the term of President Aquino, the total direct and indirect housing provision was about 700,000 plus. During the time naman ni President Duterte, that was about 800 plus. Okay? So, by this time, we have already done more than 400, which is already half of what the previous administration did. No? But we believe that we will be able to achieve because, again, it is a combination of direct and indirect. And a malaking portion ng indirect actually is actually pag-ibig. Pag-ibig provides a lot of loans, which is part of that number of accomplishment of all administrations. And as I mentioned kanina, ang ginawa po ni Secretary, as he is the chair of the Pag-ibig Board, ibinaba po yung interest rates. So malaki pong tulong yon, from 6.25% ang interest, ngayon naging 3% na lang. And with the subsidy, hopefully, magiging 1% pa yon. So malaki po ang impact nun in getting people to access for housing.
Sir, before we talk about the occupancy rate, let's first talk about bakit po ang tagal ng construction and how do you intend to address expected delays further considering that their government tends to be more stricter because of the corruption allegations hounding several infrastructure arms of the government?
Yes. Dalawa yung reason na yun. No? Una, yung concentration ng previous administration natin was on vertical housing. Alam natin, pag vertical housing, mas mahal po yung condominium units. Second, over time, tumataas po ang presyo ng ating mga bilihin, including yung cost of constructing. Ito po yung reason kaya nung December, nag-issue po yung department, yung kagawaran natin, tsaka ang DepDev ng Joint Memo Circular 2025-001, kung saan ina-adjust natin yung price ceiling. This is to address those concerns na kukonti lang yung nag-a-attempt or magtayo because nga mahal yung presyo ng pagtayo ng mga buildings na yon. Now, given the expansion of the availability of modalities, hindi na po ganun kamahal yung mga options. Tulad ng pagtayo ng house and lot, ngayon po, you can buy or you can produce house and lot at between or not more than 950,000 compared to the 1.8 before. So mas marami po ang kayang magbumili at mas mura din yung amortization na kailangan nilang bayaran.
Sir, occupancy last na po from my end. Ilan po yung available units and ilan po yung may actual na nakatera?
Yung right now, the numbers I have is just the takeout. No, don't have the completed number, but maybe we can just ask that will provide you that number.
Sunod na tanong mula kay Chloe Hofana, Business World.
Mr. Yap, sir, sorry, balikan ko lang yung tanong ko kanina. September 2025, 90,000 ang goal po natin for 2026. Did we revise, sir, that target?
The target, we are using 1.13. Yun yung pinisenta namin sa presidente nung bago po si Secretary Aliling. That's the same number that we were still using.
So still, sir, for this
Opo.
year, 90,000. Okay.
That the 1.113 is still the target for the whole administration as presented by our secretary in June of last year.
Thank you, sir.
Sunod na tanong mula kay Samuel Madinilla, Business Mirror.
For Yusek Olalia lang po. Does DMW have any instruction to principals of seafarers regarding U.S. attacks on oil tankers?
Ang usual policy po natin dito, we are always taking care of the seafarers' welfare. No? So lahat po ng manning agencies natin ay under instruction to provide full protection sa lahat po ng seafarers natin. Meron po tayong mga guidelines, lalo na yung Magna Carta natin for seafarers is very strict, especially on guarding the human rights and workers' rights of our seafarers. So katuwang po natin lahat ng stakeholders dyan at sa ngayon, wala pa ho tayong nai-involved sa mga usual na attacks during the previous years compared to previous years.
Tapos, meron po, na-compute na rin po ba ng DMW yung impact ng 1% taxes on remittances?
Yung impact sa remittance, hindi pa po natin alam kung how much yung 1% niya. No? Pero the usual trend is tumataas po yung remittance ng OFW compared to previous years, no? Parang nasa 37 billion na siya, no? And syempre, lahat po ng magiging policy natin diyan ay kung paano po natin matutulungan yung OFWs natin in terms of remitting their salaries to their respective families.
Thank you po. Yusek Yap na lang po. Nung 2023 po, nag-issue po ng Executive Order 34 si President Marcos, yung instructing na magkaroon ng inventory ng mga public land sa government na pwedeng tayuan ng housing. May update na po ba kung ilan yung nakuwang inventory ng DL?
Yes, we've actually generated about 85% of those that need to submit already gave us the number, no? At nagsimula na kami mag-evaluate na. But this year, there will be some changes. Naipasa po yung National Housing Authority Charter last year at base ngayon dito sa new charter ng NHA, to turn over po namin yung work namin from DSUD to NHA. At sila na po tutuloy ang mag-evaluate ng mga inventory ng binigay sa amin ng mga local governments as well as national government agencies.
Sa ngayon po, ganong karami yung land na...
The inventory kasi is not equated to what is usable, no? Kasi ang inventory, right now, I think the number we have was more than 30,000 hectares. Pero hindi ibig sabihin yon lahat yon suitable for housing. The reason being, pinahingi namin yung inventaryo tapos kami po ang mag-evaluate nung mga lote na yon. Some of those are, for example, sa mga schools nagbigay po sila. But in the last two GAA, meron ng rider dun sa aming budget na hindi na pwede gamitin yung lupa ng state universities and colleges for housing. So may mga ganong changes din. So some of those numbers will go down because of the riders in our GAA.
Sa 30,000 hectares po, ilan po doon yung pwede nang gamitin for socialized housing?
Right now, about mga 30 ang pwede namin gamitin. No? But that will mean that we will have to interact kasi ang right namin under the EO is inventory. Wala kaming confiscatory. So we will have to work with the national government agencies or yung mga local governments to do the projects.
Thank you po.
Last question mula kay Tristan Nadalo, Newswatch Plus.
Hello po. Kay Yusek Olalia na lang. Sir, any clarification on the reported ghost shelters, OFW shelters sa Taiwan? Sabi po ni Secretary Kakdak, may pondong meron pong nakaalat doon about 5 million para sa mga shelter. Pero sabi ng ibang organization na nandun ay non-operational daw po yung shelter sa Taipei, and yung support ng government sa mga NGO-run shelters din po ay nawala na during the Marcos administration. So how is the DMW addressing this reports po?
Yung shelters po natin ay napaka-importante po yan for the welfare of our OFWs. Worldwide, nakatutok po ang DMW sa operation, maintenance, and provisions ng lahat ng ating shelters. No? Pagdating po sa Taiwan, there was this decision of the Labor Attaché to terminate yung services ng isang shelter dahil hindi po nagagamit. No? We have to be wise in spending kasi yung pondo po na para doon hindi nagagamit ay pwede natin gamitin sa ibang shelters. No? Yun po yung ating ginagawa. We have to improve the shelters all over the world, lalo na po pagka maraming OFWs.
So meron po bang policy yung DMW na to look into all these shelters, whether they are operational or not, para po yun nga ma-maximize yung resources na meron tayo?
Exactly, that's the standing policy of the Department of Migrant Workers, no? Kailangan po ma-maximize natin yung ating mga expenses, yung ating maintenance, lalong-lalo na doon sa mga maraming stayers sa shelters kasi yan po yung makakatulong prior to full repatriation of our OFWs, no? Ang nakatutok po diyan palagi yung ating labor attaché at meron pong regular reporting and assessment sa bawat shelter nang sa ganoon lahat po ng expenses, lahat po ng maintenance niyan ay naayos po.
Last na po. Idea lang sir, saan pinakamaraming shelter ang meron ng DMW po sa ibang bansa?
Sa Middle East po usually, we have, for example, 19 in Middle East. Karamihan po dyan, for example pa, no, nasa Saudi Arabia, nasa Qatar, nasa Kuwait. No? And then meron po tayo sa Asian countries pero hindi ganun karami. Thank you.
Wala na pong tanong mula sa MBC. Balik sa iyo, Yusek Claire.
Karagdagang katanungan po.